to take that ahead of Marleen van Ganzerwinkel, her compatriot. So lows to look forward to. The sun has been very kind to us over the past few days, except for one evening with a little bit of rain. We can deal with that. It'll be setting soon and getting a little bit cooler. But today has been a lovely day weather-wise. It has been, a little bit of wind. You can see there with the flag, 18 degrees. Still very pleasant. The wind has picked up somewhat in the afternoon, so there may be a little bit more of a wind factor when it comes to both the long jump and when it comes to those sprint events. And there's loads to look forward to on this evening. The crowds, whether they be young or whether they be older, have had a great old time. I'm Tolson Tollett. Will Downing is with me, and also alongside us is Steph Reid, the former world and European champion. And Steph, there's a long jump event coming up at the beginning that you're very much looking forward to.
We have seen some incredible action already on the long jump pit. We had that amazing showdown between Leon Schaefer of Germany and Joel de Jong of the Netherlands. Both of them smashing it in the final round, but Schaefer smashing it just a little bit more. We saw a clean sweep from China in the men's T11, and hopefully we are going to see something amazing again tonight. And I have to say, it's warm in Kobe when Tolson brings out the shorts.
The shorts were out earlier, and it was good value for it as well. You have to get the shorts out at some point, and the weather today warranted getting those shorts out. Now here's the field just getting ready. There is Luca Eckler, the defending champion, Paralympic champion, European champion, going for 3 World Championship titles in a row. And it is a field of 7 who are slated to start in this one, so it'll be a fast and furious long jump event. With 7 going, it means all of them will be there for the 6 jumps. And we've also got the men's shot put F20, which will be heading out the former Paralympic and world champion Mohamed Zalkefli will go in that one. There he is. A lifetime best for Zalkefli of 17:29. No Maxim Koval, the Ukrainian, not here at these championships. He took victory last year. But there is a very strong field indeed. Gamirish of the USA, she's already been in track action as well. She's a happy character, I have to say that. Shy of the camera. Now they're not. I'd say that this has been a really enjoyable viewing experience, especially for the Malaysians. They've had a great time already during these championships. The man I mentioned a moment or two ago, they'll be looking out for Zalkefli in that shot put F20. He's a real chance of another medal for Malaysia this evening. Where do I get one of those hats?
I think those are vintage now. Those are from Tokyo 2021, which is great because crowds couldn't go to Tokyo, and so they are wearing their kit out in Kobe.
Collector's items, I think they call them. So we're getting ready for the long jump to get underway. Sorry, I interrupted you then.
I was going to say, I love it when people actually wear their collector's items instead of letting them sit in the house.
Yeah, I'm not a hoarder, trust me. Some people hoard loads of things, but I am not one of those. What you see is what you get. I'd be happy with a t-shirt and a pair of shorts and wandering around in them all week. So we're just about ready for the introductions. Here, there's Karen Palabeke, who's also been in action, silver in that 100. Luca Eckler taking that gold. Wind along the field, and then individually they'll be announced to the crowd, and Steph Reid will take you through that.
The women's long jump T38 final is kicking off the action this evening. The exciting thing is we are going to see lots of newcomers in that event. In the stadium at the moment, they're just going through and explaining the classification, and that's actually been one of the really great things about the organization of this meet, because it's really hard to enjoy watching para-athletics unless you can fully understand and fully appreciate just what's going on. See all the women there focusing. They've already been out on the track for a good 40 minutes, setting up the runway. And this is our start list for the final. 7 women to go, including the world record holder, Luca Eckler. The pit is raked, the scene is set. And these athletes will have the crowd first. Jumping first in the order will be Colombia's
women's long jump,
Paralympic
T38 final.
Now this is not a new name for us. We know her in
Representing
terms
Colombia,
of the sprints, but Karen
Palomé
Palamecki is making her World
MKT.
Championship debut as a long jumper. Eckler needs no introduction. World record holder, championship record holder, Paralympic champion.
Representing Finland, Berg Vilma.
Vilma Berg of Finland finished 5th in this event in 2023.
Representing People's Republic of China,
Chen Zimo of China,
Zimo.
23-year-old, finished 5th already in the 100 meters.
Representing Utah para-athlete.
This is a familiar name for any para-athletics fan. Margarita Goncharova made her Paralympic debut back in 2018. Sorry, 2008. Saldariaga Herna of Colombia. She's doing the double of the discus throw and the long jump. And making her world debut, Katerina Grimares. And she has a very busy schedule. 100, 200, 400, and the long jump. The athlete will have 60 seconds in which to take their jump, and on a windy day like today, sometimes we see them waiting, hoping that gust will go in their favor, just using her fingers there to judge what that wind is doing.
I think it's one of those evenings where the wind isn't actually going to die. I think it's set in for the foreseeable, and it's going to be one of those things they're just going to have to stick with.
Luca Eckler is off to defend her long jump title. Now, speaking of runways, Eckler has one of the longest runways of the women, which you'll get a glimpse of. You can see these little markers lining the runway.
Well, that's well out over the 5 meter mark. 5:31 is that championship record she set last year. The world record is actually 5:82. But Eckler, the record set in Dubai for the championship, in Paris last year for that world record. And there we go, straight up championship record for Luca Eckler.
5:53 into a headwind, well behind the board. That is a very dangerous first jump from Eckler. Now, Vilma Berg finished 5th in this event last year. She comes in with a season's best of 4 meters 25. You can see that windsock kicking up there.
Representing Malaysia,
And you can see visually, and you can watch back for it on the replay, there was just that reach towards the board at the end. And the thing is, when you reach like that and you lengthen out your stride, you've left your hips behind you, and so you're missing that power off the board. 3 meters 95. She'll look to improve on that in the coming rounds.
Well, what the odds on Luca Eckler possibly breaking the world record? Championship record with a first jump, 5:53. The world record's 5:82, so she's only 29 centimeters short of that. And she did it pretty easily before with that headwind in her face.
With the headwind and also reasonably far behind the board. That board itself, the white board, that's a good 20 centimeters that she's missing there. Chen Zimo of China. We've already seen her in action this week. 5th in the 100 meters, but didn't compete in the long jump in Paris. Didn't compete in the long jump in Tokyo. We actually only have 2 competitors from the Paris World Championships in this heat, which is great. We love seeing more athletes branch out. And look, if you're a fast runner, chances are you'll be a pretty decent jumper as well. 4:38 from Chen, and she goes into 3rd place.
Just have a look at those windsocks there on the left of the screen into Goncharova's face.
Goncharova is a veteran. She's watching that clock. It's down at about 30. She's not panicked. She'll take her time and jump when she feels she's ready. That was a good opener from Goncharova. I'm a little concerned looking at all that taping across her body, particularly the taping around her right knee and ankle, which also happens to be her takeoff leg. And the thing is, long jumping, even with a healthy body, is still really tough. They say at takeoff, the forces going through that leg are about 9 to 11 times the body weight of the athlete. 4 meters 95 for Goncharova. She slots into 2nd. This is a World Championship debut for Saldariega Hernandez. Just 19 years of age. Didn't compete in the 100 meters. She's actually doing the discus long jump double.
That's a different double, isn't it?
That is quite unusual. I'm trying to think if we've seen that yet.
Yeah, it's a decent takeoff anyway. Her marking is absolutely fine.
She has absolutely nailed her takeoff on her World Championship debut. And that's good. Obviously, we're not in danger of a cutoff because we only have 7 athletes, as you mentioned earlier. So each athlete will know going into this final, they will take all 6 jumps. 8 would take a long time, wouldn't it? Ramirez also making her world debut. Very well-rounded athlete. Not only is she competing in 4 events here, 100, 200, 400, and long jump. She also competes internationally in soccer, football for those in the UK, and domestically in swimming, triathlon, rock climbing, and taekwondo. Her lifetime best is 4.64 meters, and that looked to be a great start.
She's what you call an all-round athlete. Football, not just in the UK, but I'm suggesting many places around the world, it's more football. Soccer, you can go to Australia, New Zealand, the US, but football mostly around the world. That's all I'll say.
Is it football in Australia too?
I call it football, but over there it'd be soccer.
Got a different kind of football over there.
Yeah, I'll give you a lesson later on in why soccer came about instead of football.
4.52 meters for Grimares. She knocks Palameke down into 4th. Now last year, Palameke was a T37. This year, Palameke is a T38. Sometimes in the coordination and balance impairment classes, athletes will be given a temporary classification when they come into the sport, and it's then under review, and they can be reassessed in a few years' time. Classification process is very robust. Sometimes it takes a long time. It doesn't mean the athlete was in the wrong classification to begin with. It just means that there's been a review.